Let me ask this question. Can you, I've seen videos of people vesking the Pint X, the XR, and then I saw somebody Vesc a GT the other day. I didn't click it, so I don't know if it was true.
It has been done. I've ridden it.
Okay. Now, but I admit I haven't heard very. You and I were talking, so I got to change the way I was going to say this because we talked previously. But I hadn't heard anybody doing a growler, vesting it.
So, and that's a really good question. I'll actually rewind a bit to what you were saying about pint and GT and everything like that, because I constantly see the same thing. Can I Vesc a pint? Can I Vesc a GT? It is possible. The way the community is right now, the vast majority of people that are Vesc converting their boards are starting with XR. And a big part of that is just how many people have XRs, that they just want to make it better. And the simplicity of the XR platform, like we talked about, it's basically just nuts and bolts. Like,
Right.
it's very modular, so it's a pretty easy platform to start on. And there's just a lot of things that people already like about XR. For most people, that's the board that they grew up loving at this point. And I'm kind of in the same boat. I just like how the XR rides. So almost everything in the community right now that supports these conversions is geared toward XR. So it is possible to Vesc a pint, and it is possible to Vesc a GT. But with the way Future Motion designed those boards, it's much more of a project for sure. You actually have to salvage the connectors from the original controller on those, basically desolder them, put them on new connectors, and it's definitely a lot more work. So it's not something I specifically recommend. It's possible. It's not something I'd be able to do, so I can't recommend it to other people. The easiest way is to just get a used XR or used Plus and start from there.
Yeah, I
That's what I was going to ask. Is that what you may have asked this earlier and I missed it? Is that, do you have your XR and that's what you Vesc and did that with it?
Yeah, so I grew up. It's only been however many years, but I've always ridden XR. I've started on XR. I've gotten multiple XRs throughout the years, and I did eventually. I pre-ordered GT when it was announced. At some point, I actually did have 2 GTs for that reason of being afraid one would go out, and I did actually have issues with one, so that's a whole deal. At this point, I have sold my GTs. I really don't have any reason. Both of them, I really have no reason to ride them now, because one of the big parts that got me into Vesc in the first place, of course, all the things we've already talked about, but honestly, the biggest thing is all race season, I had both XR and GT, and I still raced my XR because that's the board I just feel the most comfortable and safe and familiar on. There's design changes in the GT that, like it's the platform where your feet rest is slightly higher up, so the board feels slightly more tippy. There's less tire options unless you do some crazy expensive mods to it. You have slightly less nose and tail clearance. So there's a lot of things that just put me off about racing on it, and I just kept racing my XR and just getting as much juice as I could out of that thing. So when Vesc started becoming more and more actually viable, that's just the direction I moved in, because now I can keep riding the same boards that I love and the boards that made me fall in love with the sport, but actually be able to get more juice out of them and be able to compete with other people on GTs.
Okay, so thank you guys. It's been a pleasure. Subscribe to the YouTube channel right here for your latest Onewheel content. We try to get some of the most creative people and influencers in on this podcast for the community, so you get to know them and hang out with them. We love doing this. If you subscribe, you get reviews throughout the week, made videos that are doing like more than just showing you a product. We go put them to use, test them out, see what they're like. So stay tuned for that. If you want to go watch some videos that are just straight entertainment from our races and stuff, we drop those on Sundays, so you'll love those.